There's no one there to interrogate. Gabriel sees nothing unusual. Why use that dagger on that? Gabriel sees nothing out of the ordinary. The badge would hardly impress that. Why leave the mask there? The bones wouldn't be useful there. That record book is evidence. Gabriel doesn't want to leave it there. There's no reason to use the mold there. Using the snake bracelet there wouldn't help.
I really don't want to be dead. Can we try that again?
Gabriel sees nothing that catches his attention. Why move that? Leave the lucky dog laying around? For shame! Gabriel can see that just fine without magnification. Gabriel doesn't need to disguise that. That icon is currently disabled. There's no need to write on that. Gabriel doesn't want to waste the money there. The chamber pot wouldn't do much good there. Why use the clay there? The crocodile mask wouldn't do much there. Gabriel doesn't want to sketch that. There's no reason to put the drawing there. Gabriel doesn't see a way to use the pattern there. Gabriel doesn't see a way to use that there. Gabriel cannot walk there. That area is not accessible. Why use the phone number there? There doesn't seem to be a way to put that on the card. The envelope would do little good there. The key doesn't work there. Now Mosley wouldn't appreciate that. There is nothing to move there. Moving that would do little good. Gabriel cannot move that. Gabriel cannot open or close that. The newspaper clipping would do little good there. Why put the note there? There is nothing to open or close there. That doesn't seem to work that way. Gabriel cannot see a way to use that. There is nothing to operate there. That doesn't work that way. That doesn't operate. That doesn't seem to be removable. The phone book page would do little good there. Gabriel cannot take that. The veil would do little good there.
You want to relive this nightmare from the beginning? You're leaving me alone with this mess?
That wouldn't be particularly illuminating. Gabriel doesn't want to take that with him. Gabriel doesn't need to carry that around. There's no point in using the pattern that way. Gabriel cannot see a way to use the collar there. Gabriel cannot interrogate that. Gabriel cannot see any way to pick that up. The book wouldn't help that. The flashlight couldn't make that any clearer. Putting the scales there wouldn't help. Why put the oil there? Gabriel can't use the scroll on that. There's no reason to use gift certificate here. The photo wouldn't affect that. Gabriel prefers to keep Gunter's journal close at hand. Why gel that? Gabriel doesn't want to lose those notes. The key doesn't seem to work on that. There's no point in using the pattern there. Talking to that would be unenlightening. There's no response. Gabriel cannot get there. Why use the tattoo tracing on that? The tile doesn't seem to go there. Why leave the tracker there? There's nothing to use the tweezers on there. Gabriel doesn't see any use in consulting that. Gabriel doesn't need to share that letter. Draping the robe over that would be pointless. Putting salt there would be pointless. Why cut that? The priest's garb would make little impression on that. Gabriel cannot use the black shirt that way. Gabriel wouldn't want to track that. Gabriel cannot see a way to use the rod there. The talisman wouldn't help there. There's no one to talk to there. Gabriel would rather keep the book. There's a name of a porcelain manufacturer on the bottom of the chamber pot. But that's about it. There's no reason to make a clay impression of that. Gabriel is carrying a lump of clay from the banks of Lake Pontchartrain. Hartridge's notes are scribbled on notepad paper. The partial pattern from the crime scenes intrigues Gabriel. What does it mean? Some ID belonging to Mosley and an American's repressed card. The envelope has Gabriel's name written on it, misspelled. It's a man's wallet. Mosley's wallet has obviously been in his back pocket for a long time. It's shaped just like him. Gabriel opens the wallet and finds the other items in Mosley's wallet don't interest Gabriel. Wolfgang's letter says, Mosley's note says, the note is signed, Detective Mosley. There's nothing written on the wallet. The envelope is unmarked. The envelope from Mosley is a plain manila one. It feels pretty light. Gabriel opens the manila envelope and finds one of the recurring words strewn throughout the letter is the word Schattenjäger. The key is from Mosley. The key has property of the New Orleans Police Department stamped on it. Right. Not anymore. The long rod is shaped like a snake. The head of the rod is the snake's angled triangular head. The rod does not appear to open. There are some strange symbols on the rod, but Gabriel doesn't know how to interpret them. The letter is addressed to Heinz Ritter, Gabriel's grandfather. The letter is addressed to Heinz Ritter, whoever that is. The letter is written in German, but Gabriel determines what he can about it. The letter is addressed to mein Sohn Heinz and signed Wilhelm Ritter. The book contains several pages of radar drum code.
P.S. I think this note will look great in the book, don't you? Make sure you save it. Try to keep out of this. It's too hot for a rookie. Just in case, I'm sending you my office key. You might find some useful things there. I'm already being watched. It was suggested I take vacation time, so I am, at least as far as they know.
The robe will open when Gabriel puts it on. There's nothing written on the robe. The shaker of salt is nearly full. Gabriel doesn't want to open the shaker until he's ready to use the salt. It's a snake scale from the Voodoo Museum's python. It looks like Wolfgang uses his scissors as infrequently as Gabriel uses his own. It's hued with purples and greens. It matches the scale from Lake Pontchartrain. Gabriel has matched the Lake Pontchartrain scale with the scale from the museum python. Gabriel magnifies the two scales. Gabriel has a scale from the fortune teller's boa. The iridescent scale is hued olive green. It doesn't seem to match the scale from Lake Pontchartrain. Gabriel is carrying a scale he found near the crime scene at Lake Pontchartrain, hued with purples and greens. It matches the scale from the Voodoo Museum. It's the shed skin from Moonbeam's snake. The snake scales are hued brown. They don't match the scale from Lake Pontchartrain. The iridescent scale is hued olive green. The snake skin is translucent. The scales are hued in browns. The Ritter dagger is solid, weighty, and highly polished. The images touch a deep chord in Gabriel. So familiar are they that he finds it hard to believe they aren't from his own subconscious. The police file contains partial patterns from the first 6 voodoo murders. The 2 iridescent scales are a perfect match. Gabriel is carrying a priest's shirt and collar which, surprise, surprise, do not belong to him. There is no reason to open the shirt and collar. It's a priest's shirt. It's a signal device for the tracker. That's not the way it works. Gabriel has to leave the signal device somewhere, and the tracker part will locate it.
Gabe, I have to go underground with this thing. It runs wide and deep throughout the department and the city board.
The old photograph showed Gabriel's grandfather with 2 other men that Gabriel has not identified. The back of the photo has the following written on it: Schloss Ritter, 1925. It's a white priest's collar. The collar does open in back, but there's no need to do that until Gabriel puts it on. Inside the collar is a message. Open quote. Lit starch plus. Close quote. What could that mean? Somewhere there's a New Orleans phone book missing one of its C pages. Those two objects would have no effect on each other. Gabriel is carrying nothing. This is the last page of inventory. This is the first page of inventory. Gabriel can see that just fine without magnification. Gunter Ritter's diary is leather-bound. Its parchment pages are old and fragile. The jar contains frou-frou hair gel. Gabriel doesn't want to open that jar until he's ready to use the hair gel. It will get all over everything. The label on the hair gel jar talks about mysterious Hawaiian roots and ancient Oriental secrets that object does not open. The most fascinating archaeological site in Africa is the Great Snake Mound in the People's Republic of Benin, located 50 miles south of the capital in the Red Basin. That object cannot be operated. That item cannot be read. Gabriel is carrying Mosley's badge. The badge says New Orleans Police Department and Detective Mosley. Grace actually managed to find a book on the Rotterdam Code, Ancient Digs of Africa, by Professor Seymour Shards. Gabriel opens Ancient Digs of Africa. Like the snake mounds of North America, the origin and meaning of these great mounds remains a mystery, though clearly they are the results of profound and urgent spiritual belief. Unlike other snake mounds, the African example is a double snake mound, a small snake ring within a larger snake ring. The mound is thought to have housed an ancient temple. Although archaeologists have explored the mound site, the interior remains largely unchanged from ancient times. This is partially due to stringent government regulations and partially to local superstition. The local people regard the mound with fear and won't go near it. Gabriel looks at the picture again. The key card has a magnetic strip on the back. The book looks like an accountant's record book. The cover is printed with the words Gede Tribe. It's a clay mold of Madame Kazunu's snake bracelet. The clay doesn't work that way. Sam's replica of Madame Kazunu's snake bracelet looks just like the original. There's no writing on the bracelet. It's a piece of brick, $100 in cash. That's the most money Gabriel had in his pockets in 2 years. The money says, "In God we trust." It's a technical drawing of St. Louis Cathedral. There's nothing written on the drawing. The chamber pot is old, but clean. The gift certificate is written up generically and has the store's name and amount penned in by Gabriel himself. It's a newspaper clipping from the year 1810. It includes a rough sketch of a pattern found around the body. The sketch is very similar to the reconstructed veve. The newspaper clipping doesn't need to be opened. The newspaper clipping describes a ritualistic murder in Congo Square. It's a note from Mosley. Gabriel magnifies the scale from the fortune teller. The iridescent scale is brilliantly hued with greens and purples. Gabriel magnifies the scale from the lake. Gabriel magnifies the shed skin from Magenta Moonbeam's snake. Gabriel magnifies the snake scale from the Voodoo Museum's python. He places the two scales together. The photograph of Mosley was apparently taken upon his graduation from the police academy. He had hair then. The photo of Mosley reads, "Cop nerd," to Gabriel's eyes. One of the photos from Mosley is an official Voodoo Murders crime scene shot, a graphic close-up of a victim. The photograph cannot be opened.
Upon my blood I call thee now, purify me, for I avow St. George, patron of the light, who hunts the shadows of the night, to set my feet upon thy road, thy sword I take up for mine own.
Gabriel reads through the pages Wolfgang marked. He reads of Gunter Ritter's journey to Charleston as witch hunter, hired by the townsmen to solve a series of ritualistic murders. The second to the last entry described Gunter's plan to set a trap for the coven committing the murders. He found the name of one of the surviving members of the crew, a man now living in the West Indies. He reads of their physical union and passion, and of Gunter's investigations into the murders. The victims were all crew members on a certain slaving expedition to Africa, it seemed. Gunter has spread a false rumor that the man is returning to Charleston. He himself will impersonate a sailor and allow himself to fall into the hands of the coven. Naturally, Gunter has arranged for able-bodied assistants to follow and attack the coven before they can do him harm. Gabriel turns to the final entry of the journal. The only thing that Gabriel can decipher about the letter is a sense of urgency in the handwriting and in the heavy use of quill-tip bold strokes and underlining. Of course, the family castle really is in need of some serious repairs. The letter is addressed to Gabriel from Wolfgang Ritter. Gabriel feels a little guilty as he looks at the stack of bills. He hopes he isn't breaking any of Schattenjäger rules. A note from Mosley and a small brass key. The lucky dog is plump and juicy. That would be a mess. Although the mustard is teasingly poured into a pattern-like shape, Gabriel's eyes can make no sense of it. The magnifying glass is an expensive one with an inlaid jade handle, an heirloom from Gabriel's grandfather. The magnifying glass doesn't open. There's nothing written on the magnifying glass. Gabriel's carrying a boar's mask and robe from the Houndford supply room. The disguise doesn't open. There's nothing written on the mask or robe. The wolf mask and robe are from the Houndford supply room. The crocodile mask is made of genuine crocodile head. It looks heavy, hot, and smelly. The mask doesn't open. It fits on over one's head. The mask has no writing on it inside or out. The wolf's mask is from the Houndford supply room. It's a boar's mask from the Houndford supply room. Mosley's Americans Repressed card. Read it. What a concept. The card has Mosley's name written on it. It expires next month. Gabriel eyes the surreptitiously delivered envelope. There doesn't seem to be anything unusual about it. Gabriel opens the envelope and finds 2 photographs.
Oh, bastard. Halsey's son of a bitch, wasn't he?
The murder photo has nothing written on it. It's a robe from the Houndford supply room. He reads about Gunter's meeting with a beautiful slave woman, Tetelo, and of Gunter's tormenting urges for her. The artist's reconstruction of the voodoo murders pattern looks accurate to Gabriel. Something about it seems vaguely familiar and creepy. Gabriel is already using the magnifying glass. Creepy, isn't it? The double-ringed snake mound in the People's Republic of Benin. The copy is almost as believable as Gabriel's novel. The Getic Tribe record book contains the names and rotted drum codes for tribal members. Gabriel gazes at the translation of the code that Moonbeam gave him, pondering who wrote it and for whom it was meant. Gabriel gazes at the translation of the second voodoo code message. A few letters are still missing. Looking at the series of crosses, Gabriel can't help but to think that they have a pattern and a meaning he is not comprehending. The fortune teller's veil is studded with sequins. That sequin looks a little strange. Why, it's a snake scale. There's a snake scale caught on the veil. It's a sequin. The dagger is unmarked. Gabriel got the flashlight free in the mail when he ordered a magazine subscription. It works, though. At the moment, believe it or not, the flashlight does not open. It's a disposable. There's enough light without the flashlight at the moment. The flashlight has printed on it the legend, "Cold Cell Brokers. Mortgages are up." The small bottle is labeled Master Gambling Oil. The oil is better preserved with the bottle cap on. The label reads Master Gambling Oil, but no ingredients, warnings, or instructions are included. The scroll from the display case is very old. The $20 gift certificate for St. George's looks pitifully new and unused.
God be with you, Uncle Wolfgang. Dear Gabriel, please read the enclosed journal carefully. It might help you understand your family's special obligations and our current predicament.
Gabriel has already transferred the letters for all of the symbols that match. It's Gabriel's sketch of the new series of crosses from the Laveau tomb wall. Gabriel sketched a new series of crosses from the Laveau tomb and added what letters he could match from Moonbeam's translations. The small note cannot be opened. The number written on the note is 4909 324 3333. The card is not marked. It was sent from a place called Schloss Ritter in Rittersberg, West Germany. It operates as follows. The signal device attaches to an object, such as a car. The signal device emits a signal that appears on the tracker, LED, allowing the object to be tracked. There's nothing written on the key. Gabriel looks fondly at his father's sketchbook and charcoal pencil. The stone is etched with a peculiar snake design. The stone doesn't open. There doesn't seem to be any writing on the stone, unless the snakes themselves are a code of some sort. Gabriel has in his possession the Ritter family talisman. He'll never forget that it was regained only through Wolfgang's blood. The talisman does not open. The talisman has no writing on it, only the emblems of the lion and the serpent. The tracing is of a snake tattoo from Crash's chest. The snake tattoo tracing says nothing. This device is called a tracker. Gabriel remembers a time when he and Mosley used it illegally with a couple of babes in a white convertible. The folder is marked with the warning, not to leave the police station. The tracker doesn't open. It would be useless to turn the tracker on here. It'd say, made in Japan. The tweezers from the bookshop are an old stainless steel pair that Gabriel's had forever. The veil belonged to the fortune teller. It's covered with shiny iridescent sequins. Gabriel examines the veil with a magnifying glass. Gabriel has no reason to use the tweezers on the veil at the moment. Gabriel has already removed the scale from the veil. Gabriel carefully uses the tweezers to remove the snake scale from the veil. It's the official police file containing the partial patterns from the voodoo murders. He finds that he has the translation for all of the symbols, except for 3. Gabriel opens and reads the police file. Gabriel has a photocopy of the official police file containing the partial patterns from the voodoo murder. The single sheet of paper doesn't need to be opened. The reconstructed veve was done for Gabriel by a technical artist. It's Gabriel's sketch of the series of crosses from the Laveau tomb wall. It's Gabriel's sketch of the series of crosses from the Laveau tomb wall, with magenta moonbeams translation penciled in. Gabriel checks the 2 messages for duplicate symbols and transfers the letters from the matches to the new message. The large brass key is ornately shaped and must weigh a pound at least. The old photograph shows Gabriel's grandfather with 2 other men, apparently his German father and brother. Images haunt the pages of Philip Knight's sketchbook, the way they must have haunted his mind. That's an interesting thought, but there would be less chance of spilling the salt if Gabriel put the chamber pot down first. Didn't Grace say you had to dial 011 first to get international? The hair clipping scissors are spotless. There's a snake scale caught on the veil. Wolfgang Ritter's phone number, written in Grace's pretty scrawl. Handsome, isn't he? Gabriel rifles through the money guiltily. He wonders if he's broken any Schattenjäger rules by taking it. Gabriel doesn't want to put on the disguise until he has to. It looks hot. The shed skin doesn't fit Gabriel. Gabriel rubs Mosley's credit card. So, that's what one feels like. Gabriel hefts the envelope. It's fairly light. The wallet doesn't fit in Gabriel's back pocket. His jeans are too tight. Move, Gabriel. Try the walk icon. There's no reason to wear that at the moment. There's no reason to use the Ritter dagger on Gabriel here. Gabriel doesn't want to put that robe on until he has to. The key doesn't fit any of Gabriel's slots. Gabriel clutches the talisman. He'll be damned if he lets it get lost again. Gabriel cannot draw that tattoo on himself. He'll have to find someone to lend him an artistic hand. Gabriel doesn't need to start the tracker here. Gabriel cannot think of any way to adorn himself with those scales. Gabriel isn't sure how he could use the voodoo code message on himself. Uncle Wolfgang's handwriting is bold and hurried. Gabriel doesn't want to put the mask on until he has to.
Man, I'm beat. This sleep thing is getting to be a real problem. Can somebody tell me what's going on? Don't ask me, I'm even less informed than you. Ever have one of those days? Could you just shoot me? Knight. Gabriel Knight. In case someone wants to know. Don't get personal. Pink is not my color. I don't think using that thing on anyone would be safe. I don't know how to make sense of those crosses. Thank God Hartridge was a doodler. I wonder what these lines mean. I'm hungry, but not for that. There's nothing on my body that would require the use of a magnifying glass. That's pretty disgusting. The clipping is pretty old. I don't think I should handle it too much. What an egotistical bastard. If I want to open up, I'll go to a shrink. I'm doing the best I can. You've already got me, you lucky devil. Norman Mailer, eat your heart out. I wish I spoke German. Nice picture of Granddad. No thanks. I'm trying to cut back. I am not cutting my hair without a mirror. I don't need to track myself. I don't even want to think about what it is you want me to do with that rod. You know what they say about people who live in glass houses? I can't dial myself. I've already got it. Hey, I'll ask the questions around here. I haven't carried books around like this since college.